Well, hi everyone. This is Debbie at Color Everywhere, and today I'm going to be working on some things that are a little different. I wanted to make some little boxes, and we're going to make several different kinds of boxes. I'm going to start with some metal boxes. Oh, thanks, Kathy. And I used to make these a long time ago, but it's been quite a while, so it's kind of fun to revisit things that you haven't done in a while. So basically what I'm doing, and I've already started one, is this is a Altoids tin box. And thanks for coming, everybody. Thanks, Violet. Um, it's Sunday afternoon, and it's been a busy day so far, but I'm glad to be down here working on some things that I haven't done in a while. So we're going to do this box. We're going to do a couple of these boxes, and I'm going to show you how to apply the same technique to some other things. and it's just going to be a fun thing. So I hope you come visit and watch for a bit. And those of you who watch later, thank you also. Hope you enjoy. So all I did was took the lid off of this box. We've all messed around with these Altoid tin boxes, and all you have to do is lift up these little things. They go in like this. And you just pull them out a little bit, and this will slip right off. I find it easier to work with two pieces. So all I've done so far is I've just taken regular craft paint. This is Americana craft paint, and I just did a thin coat on it, just enough to cover the metal on the outside. Same thing with this one. I just did on the outside. And I used on these so far I've used sweet mint and nope, that's not it. Where'd it go? The gold. Oh, I guess that is what I used. I was thinking I used gold. This is honey brown. So all I've done after that coat dried, I just hit it with the heat gun so it would dry faster. And after that dried, I just came back with a dauber and just daubed the paint on there. Thick. You want it to be thick. The thickness is what makes this technique work. And I did not think of this, of course. It's been around for a while, but it's been a very long time since I played with it. So I'm just taking this paint and layering it and daubing it on here just real thickly. You could do it with the paintbrush too, it'll work. You just want some globs of paint on there. Now this lid is embossed. Hi Ann, thanks for coming. This lid is embossed, and I want to kind of hide that on the outside. So I'm going to be using paint, and like I said, in thick layers. And I'm also going to be using embossing powder. Who knows how long it's been since I had my embossing powder out. I certainly don't. But I'm just going to take it and sprinkle it on there where the wet paint is. Just kind of sprinkle it around. And let the wet paint act as my embossing fluid. And I'll take my heat gun and also use a pair of pliers because this is thin metal, and the heat gun, it will get hot and you will burn yourself. So please don't do that. So I use a pair of pliers and just enough, hold on there just enough to hold it. And then I take my heat gun and I'm going to start underneath. So I'm going to start heating it from underneath. That way, whatever embossing powder isn't in the paint will melt and not fall off. You don't have to have embossing ink or anything to melt the embossing powder and make it stick. All that's for is to keep it in place until it starts to melt. So if you do it from underneath, you're going to see some of that paint and I'll start bubbling up. And let me change the way I'm holding this. Now I'm going to come to the top. And also, I should say at the very beginning, Do not do this directly on top of your good mat, of your good cutting mat, because see how warped this is? That's why, because of the heat. So don't do this on top of your good uh, mat. Okay, here we go. If I can get a hold of this right. Here we go. All right. So I'm just going to finish melting the embossing powder on the top because it's in little piles, so it's going to take a little bit to melt. And also, now I hope you can see that, how it's bubbling up the paint. So I'm actually blistering the paint at the same time, and that's good. I want that to happen. I don't want it to burn, but I want it to blister. Now your paint will blister after it's dry, but usually I just hit it right away when the paint's still wet, and it seems to work better that way. So I'm just making sure all of this is done. Okay. Now this is still really hot, and once it starts to cool a little bit, sometimes I just take and tap on it just to push those little bubbles back down. So still hot. So you can see a little bit. Let's see how I can turn that. There's a little bit of texture on there. You can still see the embossing a little bit in certain places, but it's not too bad. So now everything that's on there right now is stuck. All right, so I'm going to go with some different colors. And just kind of increase the interest. And I think I want to add a little bit of purple in here. These paints are just about gone, some of them. So this is a good way to use up the last goobery pieces of paint. I can cover up my embossing powder and just use it as texture, or I can keep it there and just work around it, because I'm going to be putting a couple more layers on here. You can put as many layers as you want. And this lasts for a long time. This will stay on this box. I've got some that are from the 90s and that were carried in a purse, so they get banged around a lot. So it really does stick on here. I think the heat causes it to stick on there. So while I have that, I'm going to put a little bit more embossing powder. Let's see, have I missed anyone yet? Nope. There's Kathy and Violet and Anne and Teresa. So I'm not doing any big effort to, put things in certain spots, other than just try not to cover up my other embossing powder yet. Excuse me. I'm going to go under again, and you could probably, let me see if I can get this where it looks. Hi, Ruth. Now, the more paint and stuff I get on here, the more time it will take to heat it from underneath. Now it's starting. My purple's not really bubbling, so I'm going to put some more on it. This paintbrush keeps rolling. Here we go. There's my dauber. So I'm just really glopping it on there because I want it to bubble more than it is. Now let's try it. Hi, Chris, Queen Bee. Sorry for the noise, guys. There it goes. So if you heat it too long, the bubbles pop and just kind of flatten back out. But if you heat it until the bubbles form, then you can just sort of flatten them out without popping them, and it leaves a lot of texture. Let's see if I can get this where you can see it without burning myself. See, there's a lot of texture on there. It's not very pretty yet, though. All right. So now I'm just going to work on the edges a little bit. So as you can see, there's a lot of back and forth with the heat gun. And I would do the same thing with the sides of the box. The bottom, I would give it a good coat, but kind of leave it, as flat as I could. And let me see. My mat's so warped. Get some of this off of here. So we're going to do this box, and then we're going to do some paper boxes. And then I think I've got a cigar box I can show you. I'm not doing cigar boxes today, though. All right, let's see. Whoa. Hold on. Or I make a mess here. I have no place to set anything. Surprise! Oh gosh. Okay, here's some silver, black, clear, and gold. I think we'll use that. And when this is all done, you really don't have to coat it with anything, especially if you manage to get embossing powder pretty much over everything. But you don't really have to. Let me hit this. That was gold and clear embossing powder. I'm really trying to get rid of the embossed word on this lid. So I'm loading it up with embossing powder and paint. I used to make the little mint boxes and decorate them and give them as gifts to use as pill boxes that could stay in your purse. I really like them really well. Okay. Now, let's see, I was working on, it's too hot. I was working on the sides, wasn't I? So I'm just kind of like, slopping it on. It is a really good way to use up paint that's almost gone or, that you've had for a while or whatever. I love little boxes, all kinds of boxes, really. I'm just going to dry this real fast. And a squeeze bottle. Well, I didn't. It was paint. I had paint in a squeeze bottle. Maybe you saw this sponge thing I had. Was it this? It's just one of those finger makeup sponges. Maybe that's what you saw. Otherwise, I just had paint or embossing powder. Okay, so now the way I get the embossing powder on the sides, if I decide to put it on there, is I just put it in something. So I'm just going to put it in here. Use this. It's got to be, pretty deep for it to work. Okay, so then I put on there whatever I'm gonna use. Still putting it on pretty thick. And whoa, there went my paintbrush, all in the paint. Okay, and then you can just dip it. And get a nice little coat. And I'm going to dry this. So tap that with my finger. So there's the edge. That edge is done. Now, if I look down here where the things have bubbled up, some of them are still a little puffed up. I can just mash them down with my finger. Now let me see if I can see the embossed stuff. I can see kind of a little raised area here, and I see a raised area there, but it doesn't look like any word. It doesn't look like a word. This is what it is, and I cannot see it on there. If I turn it a certain way, I could detect something, but for the most part, I can't see it. It also had this little embossed area around there. I don't really care if that shows or not. It really doesn't too much. I can just barely see it if I turn it to the side, but I don't mind that. It just looks like a little frame. Hi, Angie. Thanks, y'all, for coming. I'm just having fun with boxes today. And then see how pretty that looks on the edge. That's a mixture of clear and gold. So I'm going to do a little bit more, and then I'm going to put this back together. I'm not going to do anything to the bottom because you're getting the idea. So I'll go on to another thing to show you after I clean the paint off my brush and everything else. Okay, so now let's see. We have this color over here. So wherever I add the paint, it's going to grab the, I can get that in there, maybe, yeah. It's going to grab the embossing powder. Oh, I didn't get any paint right there. So you get the idea. Ouch, that's hot. So once I was finished, oh, let me put this away before it gets lost. Just like I did right there. Never fails. Well, that was a catastrophe. Well, now this is full of stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and heat it. What?
I have to go.
Where?
I'll tell you when I get back.
Okay.
I might be late. I don't know. I'm gonna do that later.
All right. All right, so that got an extra added feature on the inside. All right, so, well, that was unusual. That was my hubby telling me he was going somewhere, but he didn't tell me where. So it must have been too long of a story. Let me see if I can clean this mess up right quick. You know there's always going to be a mess. We had so much fun at the marketplace sale over the weekend. I enjoyed myself. Hope everybody else did. There's a lot of great items. And so needless to say, I spent some money. What a mess. Let's see. Get in there. Now, don't be trying to tell me that you don't make messes like this, because I know you do. Hi, Riri. Hi, Brenda. I'm just cleaning up my mess. Sorry, but I got to get rid of this stuff. It'll be everywhere. All right, let's try that now. All right. So I would continue with this, adding layers, and finish the whole box, and then it would go back on here. Fold those back down. And so obviously this isn't finished, but I wanted you to see the process. So you can use any colors you wanted. You can add things onto here, sometimes like little charms onto them. And excuse me. Things like that are kind of flat, but you know, that I could put on there. And then you have these little boxes. And I really like doing the, where did I lay them? Here they are. The small ones, because they're just the right size to stick a couple of pills in or some little money in or whatever. Hello, Pandora's box. I don't think I've met you before, but I'm glad you're here. It's the same process. It has the same kind of little hinge. And really, you can do it on any metal. Anything that's metal works really well. And it's a lot of fun. So that's one kind of box. Get rid of this paint. And it's real simple to do. Now you can do the same. I have a bunch of these old what do you call these things? Buttons, pins, whatever you want to call them, with the little pin things on them. And I do the same thing on these. Instead of doing it on the box, do it on here. And then I can put whatever I want on there, and it's a pin. So those turn out really cute. So if you see these and you think this is something you'd like to do, just pick them up. These were given to me. It was some kind of smoking campaign. I mean, this was like from the 90s or something. Be very healthy, please don't smoke, with a little bear on it. And the other one says, kiss me, I don't smoke. So I have a box full of them. Every once in a while I get them out and do some things. You can do the same thing on jar lids. So if you have a lot of course you probably have paint, but if you have a lot of embossing powder laying around and you just don't use it anymore, this is a good way to use it up and to make something pretty. And of course, you can pick whatever colors you want. So let me move this out of the way. Does that look like a fun project that someone would enjoy doing? Use your pliers. Don't burn your fingers, or you'll be sorry. Let me see if I could put these away somewhere. Excuse me. Oh, I harvested lavender yesterday. And that sounds like like I did a huge big thing. That's great, Riri. That's great. That was never anything that tempted me because my mother was a heavy smoker and I just couldn't abide it. And plus I have allergies, so that kind of, even if I'd wanted to, I couldn't have. But fortunately, that's one thing I've never had a problem with. Got problems with lots of other things, but not that. What did I start to say? I don't know. Boy, that embossing powder just sticks to everything when you don't want it to. If you wanted it to stick, it won't. Trying to clear a spot here so I have room to work. So here is another kind of box. And some of you may have done these before. I don't know. They've been around for a while. This is something else I used to make a lot of in days gone by. You know what? I think I need to get out a piece of paper so this black doesn't shine so much. Here, I think that's better. There we go. So this box is made out of paper, scrapbooking paper. They're very easy to make. So here's the bottom, here's the top. And I'm going to show you how to make them. Depending on the size that you start with, that's what size box you end up with. If you start with a 12-inch piece of paper, 12 by 12 piece of scrapbooking paper or some other kind of paper, wallpaper, for instance, you'll end up with a 4-inch square box. And as the size goes down, obviously the size of the box goes down. And all you need is 2 pieces of paper. Start out, the lid will be 12 by 12, and I'm just going to go with what size this one is right now. So the paper for the lid will be 12 by 12, and the paper for the inside will be 1/4 of an inch less on 2 sides. So if you cut 1/4 of an inch off of each side of the paper, like perpendicular sides, and you'll see what I mean. And that because the box needs to be that much smaller for the lid to fit over it. And if you do it at 1/4 of an inch, it'll fit real nicely, real snugly, but not so tight you can't get it out. Okay, so let me pick 2 pieces of paper over here. I'm going to set this aside for now. So you need paper. A ruler helps. You don't have to have a ruler. There's 2 different ways to do this. So I'm going to show you both ways. I think I'll do this one. Now you can make these boxes with regular scrapbook paper. You don't want to use the real flimsy kind. Hello, Judy. Judy. Thanks for coming. Because the box will be too flimsy. So regular stiffness of scrapbook paper, thicker, the really thick scrapbook paper that's got like a lot of glitter and stuff like that on it, you can use it, but it folds. It's a little bit more difficult to fold and get a good crease without cracking the paper. So you want to keep that in mind. This is actually a flocked paper. It's really pretty. It's kind of a cream colored background. So we're going to use that. And this is just a regular piece of scrapbook paper. It's not the real thin kind. So this is going to be my lid, and this is going to be the box. So right away, we're going to start by cutting off a 1/4 inch on both sides. Excuse me. And that's pretty simply done with a paper cutter, or you can use a pair of scissors. There's my 1/4 mark. That's it right there. Okay. So just cut a 1/4 on one side. So you're going to be doing the side and the top of the paper. So just turn it one time and cut another 1/4 inch off. Okay. And the other one doesn't have to be cut, just this one. All right, so now I'm working on the box. They're both made exactly the same way. Let me get a drink of water. First thing you do, you fold it from corner to corner. And you need to be as precise as you can, because if your folds get crooked, if your points don't come out to points, then your box is going to might be a little wonky. Now, what I forgot to say is the 2 different ways you can fold. Now you can see this box has fold lines on it. See those fold lines? They go all the way around the box. I don't like for the tops of my boxes to have fold lines. So for the tops of my boxes, sometimes the bottoms, it just depends. I do a technique where there are no fold lines. You don't see any fold lines on the top of the box, except on the edges, of course. So I'm going to show you how, with the bottom, I'm going to show you how to make the box with, well, if I can get things where they go, with lines and without lines. So the bottom of the box is going to be with lines, because I'm not so worried about how it looks as much. So you fold it corner to corner, open it up. Gosh, I'm fumbly today. Fold it corner to corner again. Match up your points. Go to the center, work your way out, and hope for the best. Okay, so now I've got it folded from corner to corner. Then you want to fold from corner to center. And you want to align your fold lines, because there's a fold line right here. So you want to align those 2 lines and go all the way to the fold. So I'm going all the way to where I folded it. And I'm keeping my fold line straight with the other fold line. And that's important to do. Then you fold this in to the center. And this is likely to move, but just put it in its place. And this is going to fold all the way up. You're going to make sure it's lined up with this other line. You may not be able to see the line on the camera, but it's there, the fold line, like right here. So you want to fold, whoops, so you want you want that to be straight all the way across. So this is what you've got. You've got fold to the center, fold to the center. Same thing, and you do this all the way around. So I'm just going to quickly do it. So everything is based off of those first corner to corner folds, because that shows you, that's sort of like your mark to go to. So far I've got folded this way. Now I have to do this side. So you do it all the way around. And I use my bone folder because I want my lines to be nice and crisp. And again, when you fold this up, you can always be sure you're doing it right, because your lines will all match. And you'll know that it's fairly straight. As straight as you can do it, really. And then you do the same thing. So these actually go pretty fast, you know, when you're not trying to talk yourself through it. I've made them for parties and teas and what have you. All right, so now here's the whole thing folded. So you can see all these little squares. Now here is the actual top of your box. Now I think it's helpful, especially when you're first doing these, to mark the corners just with the dot. So with the pencil dot. And you'll see why in a second. So the next thing you do, you've got all your folding done. Now you're going to take some scissors or a cut or a blade, either way, and you're going to cut along this fold line. See, here's the point. You're going to cut from the corner where you marked. You're going to cut to the end, just on two sides, opposite sides, not on this side, just these two. And if you can see it better on the back, then you can turn it to the back. I usually do this with a knife because I just think it's easier. But you can do it with a knife or with scissors. And you want to try to get right on that line if you can. So there's one side done. You only want to go right to that corner, not past it. Okay. So here we go. Here's our bottom of our box. Where's this one? See right there is the bottom of the box. Now, these ends are going to get folded in, and they're the ones that hold the sides in. So for the sides, these are the ends. I think of these as the ends and these as the sides. So this gets folded just like it was, but you want to fold it down to the center one time and then flip this over. And you don't have to do this step, but it makes the box a lot neater. Makes the edges of the box a lot neater. And you do the same thing on this side. And when you're doing this, you're gonna be looking to make sure this is laying flat before you, or that it's like, you know, even here before you burnish it. Because otherwise, if it's like this, it's not going to work. You want it to be straight, like everything else is straight. Okay, so that's what we did. Folded this in and folded these flaps in. Okay. Now what happens is, see these flaps, how they're up? These flaps are going to come in like so. And this flap is going to come over and fold down. Same thing here. They're going to come in as far together as they will go. It's going to fold up and then fold down. And there's the bottom. So I like to take my bone folder again and fold it this way to the corner so that it's nice and sharp, and it kind of helps it to hold together better. Same thing on the other side. Now the other thing I like to do, you don't have to do this either. Some tape. I like to actually tape it. Put a little piece of tape in there. If you got your hot glue out, you can just put a little tiny dot of hot glue. Let's open this back out. And on the ones that are folding in, I'm just going to put a little piece of tape there. Doesn't have to be exactly positioned. You just need something that will hold it in place. Come on. Okay, so remember these go together nice and tight where they, as far as they'll go. And this folds down and it goes in nice and tight, and then you tape it. Let's push the tape in. These sides go together, this goes up, this goes in, and then you tape it. So there's the bottom, all done. Hi, Kathy. See, am I missing anybody? I think I've seen everybody. Thanks, y'all, for coming. We're just making boxes and decorating boxes. So there's the bottom. Now I'm going to do the top real fast so you can see it again. But I'm going to show you on this one how to not have the lines on the box. And I don't have my long ruler here, so I'm just going to fake it. So you just need a straight edge of some kind. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to mark the center of this paper, if I can see here. And I'm just going to do that by putting one little X in the middle. So I'm marking it from corner to corner, but I only need this one little X in the middle. I just need to know where the center is all. Okay, so now I don't have to fold it from corner to corner. So here we go. To the center. I think this is going to be really pretty. This flocked paper. And then I'm going to do this one to the center. Now this is a little bit different already from the other one. Because remember on the other one, I folded it to the center, and then I folded it up again to the center. But I don't want all those lines to show, so I'm doing it this way. So I'm doing all four sides to the center one time. And remember, this paper is 12 by 12. Uh-oh, something happened here. See, if you get it a little bit off, then it messes up somewhere. And I got something a little bit off, so let's see if I can figure it out. My paper probably wasn't exactly straight when I started. So that's what happens. See how my corner is not a corner? So let me see what happened here. Something happened. As Keisha says, what's happening? And that is just a tiny bit under 12 inches. As is that. As is that. As is that. So that means that my center is off. And that's where it is, right there. I'm just checking to see where I'm off. And there it is. No, not too bad, but a little bit. That's kind of odd. Let's see. Try again. It was just off a tiny bit, but that can make a lot of difference. I still don't think it's gonna be all the way right, but maybe it is. If not, we'll find another piece of paper. One thing about making mistakes is you learn a lot. Come on, paper. See, it's just off a little bit, which messes up my corners. I think we're going to be good now. All right. So, if you don't want lines, you mark your center, fold to your centers, just one fold. Let's see now. Then you instead of folding it in like this, now I'm going to open this up. I'm going to take this all the way to, I don't even know what I'm doing. Still going to fold it up like this. I thought I did it different, but I guess I didn't. So these steps are still the same, except you don't fold it corner to corner all the way. Ooh, this paper's so pretty. Okay, so since I got confused here, let's start again. Mark your center, fold, 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 fold. Then you're going to fold and fold. And then do the same thing here. Fold and fold to the center. Fold, fold to the center. Sorry about that. I can't believe this isn't rubbing this flop off of here, but it's not. It's staying on there real nice. Okay, so now we're back to the same place we were on the other one, except there's no fold lines right here. So the sides are going to look nice. The center is going to look nice. Again, mark your corners of the center. And you're going to do exactly the same thing. cut it again. Which I can't see what I'm doing. Here we go. Now this paper is a little bit heavier than the bottom, but that's okay. It doesn't matter as long as they're, you know, strong enough. Hi, Janet. Let's see. And once again, we're only cutting 2 sides opposite each other. All right, 2 sides opposite of each other. So these sides don't get cut. Okay, now remember, I'm going to fold these in. We're going to fold these in so they'll kind of be pre-folded. That's kind of stiff, so it needs to be broken down a little bit. Same thing here. Make sure they're even, not skewed. Okay, so now we've got these 2. Now we need our tape again. And you can do this with a dab of glue, hot glue, or otherwise. It's just something to keep the pieces from flopping loose. Now I can see a little bit of fuzz from the flocking on the paper. Just surprised there's not worse than that on there. Then we fold this up, fold these up. See, once you folded it like this, it kind of is already in the right spot for what you want to do. Fold that one up. Fold that one down. Voila. Okay, there's one side. Fold this side snugly together. You want to make sure your paper's all the way down like this and all the way together where it's supposed to be so that it'll all fit when you fold this down. And then push that in real close to the corner. Voila! Okay. And then remember, we want to help this out a little bit. Okay, there's the box lid. Let's see if it fits. Yeah, see this paper, it's just a little bit too tight because this paper is so thick, so much thicker, and it's got that flocking on there that it's made it enough tighter that it's really snug. So I'm just going to make sure everything's folded out of the way and try again. Still pretty snug, but it's going to work. There. Ta-da! Yeah, these work great on a desk or in a drawer, you know, to make little dividers in a drawer instead of going out and buying something. And like I said, depending on the size you start with, size paper you start with, depends on the size of the box. Now, these are 4-inch boxes. I really, most of the time, I make 3-inch boxes because I just like the size. And then you can decorate them however you want, you know. You can just do whatever you want. If you want it to look like a little gift wrap box, you can put ribbon up here and a bow. Glue it on there. You can glue little doodads on it or whatever. So there are those. Now I have to turn around here and look for something for a second, because I want to show you. Oh, where is it? I want to show you a cigar box that I was working on and I put away because I couldn't finish it. Now I can't see it because I thought I knew where it was. That's the way it happens, ladies. Never fails to happen that way. You know, I might have stuck it in a drawer, but what drawer? That would be. Oh my. I wanted to show it to you also. I actually thought it was right here someplace. Hold on, hold on. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. Well, I guess we won't get to see it because I can't find it. Well, that's a bummer. It's probably looking right at me. You know how that is. All right. So, I guess we'll let that go for now because I can't find it right off. Okay, so here's the boxes. And remember, you can make different sizes. They're a lot of fun. They're really fun to give little prizes in. And if you don't like those, you can do the metal boxes. And I wanted to show you, while I'm thinking about it, my butterfly that I was making last week. I don't know if you were here last week. You might have saw that when I started it. And let me get that for you. I've decided I'm going to put it on one of my sale journals, this one. Make sure everything's clean. So here he is, and let me bring it up here. Hi, Mary Lou. Hi, Mary Lou. See if I can get this a little closer for you. Okay, that'll be good enough. So I was working on him last week, and I started him last week. Let's put it that way. Late to the party. As long as you make it there, Mary Lou, that's all that counts. So I started with a paper I made a paper pattern. Then I cut out my pieces, and you can't see now because, oh wait, maybe you can hear. It's backed with in here. It's backed with some little fabric. So I laid the fabric piece on top of the backing. Then I did the blanket stitch around the outside edge of these petals were all separate. And then I went back and put in some veins, embroidered some veins in there. And then I put some beads on. Then I layered them the way I wanted them. I took a piece of fabric and just sort of rolled it up for this and stitched it together. Then I wrapped some thread around it a little bit just to make it look a little bit more textured. And I sewed some little eyes on. I've not put the antenna on yet, but I will be doing that. And then I backed the whole thing with a piece of fabric because I'm going to put a pin back on here. And then whoever buys the journal, I'm going to pin it on here. And if they want to take it off, they can. So, and this kind of goes along with some of the colors in here, the purples and greens. So I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. I want to make some more at some point. I still want to make a bird using a similar technique. And so it was fun. So that was not totally done yet, but it's pretty close. So I had to put the antenna and then put the pin on there. So I think he turned out pretty cute. Yeah, that was from last week. I started it last week. So that was one of the things I did this week. Okay, now what else do I want to show you? Since I can't find my box. Okay, let me put this back in the bag, this noisy bag. And this will, this may even be at the marketplace this month, before the month is out probably. I get it in the mail this week. So it'll appear at Keisha's Market probably this month. So along those lines, I've been working on some changing gears here. We'll go into the, oh, here's my lavender, some of my lavender. This is the white lavender. And I'm going to press this lavender because there's not enough of it to doing much else with. So I'm going to press this. I got it laying here ready to do. I have a flower press that my husband made me. It works really well. Okay. Thanks, Mary Lou. Thanks, Pandora. Thanks, Janet. So I've been working on these envelopes and pockets. So I kind of do them in fits and starts, you know. I do parts and then I go back and add more stuff to them. So like this is a pocket, a free-flowing pocket. Of course, you could glue it on if you wanted to, but here's the front and it's got a little, you can see it through it, the bee. So these are done. These right here are done, I think. And here's, you see they've got pockets because they're made from envelopes and they have little windows. This one's done. So I've been having fun with these, working on these. So I think that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my time. Is maybe work on these a little bit. Is that all right with everyone? I guess you can't do anything about it if you don't want to. Oh my goodness. Let me get some of this big stuff out of the way. Those little boxes make nice little places to put gift cards for Christmas. You just use Christmas paper, Christmas scrapbook paper or wrapping paper. Isn't this cute? I gotta pull my thing back out again. Let's see. There we go. I like this with the little house on there. So that's an envelope and it's covered with a napkin. This is a napkin. And then this was an embossed piece of paper. And this was a die cut. And I just put the yellow behind the windows. There's that one. That might be done. I kind of like it plain, just like it is, but I'm not sure yet. Yeah, so see, some of these are almost done, but not all the way. Some of them are big side pockets. Here's another one with the little houses. I think they're so cute. I'm looking at the wrong screen. Where'd y'all go? There you are. Oh, Angie, and that sounds great. I was so sleepy on the way home from church. Don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep. You'll feel awful. So some of these don't have any focals on them yet. Some of them do. Some of them I've got the focals that are going to go on them, but the backgrounds aren't done yet. So I think what I would like to do right now is focus on finding some more focals to go on there. I've got so much stuff in the floor by my feet. Oh my word. Let's see. I'll figure out where I put which box I need. Which box do I need? I have so many boxes right now. Something I've been doing just this week, usually when I make these or any kind of envelope that needs a thumb hole, you know what I mean? The little, I don't know what else to call it besides a thumb hole, like this, where you can pull stuff out. I use my circle punch and just punch a half circle. I was watching, I can't think of that lady's name, LaCraft. It's not the whole name. LaCraft something. I'll have to see what it is. She does this, and I thought, oh, I like that. I like that much better than than a circle. So I've been doing some of those, and I'm liking that really well. And I got tired of just doing the same old envelopes all the time, so I started doing this on some for pockets. It's just like a fake flap. So instead of cutting it square, I cut it like this, little corner, and then it comes down. And where's that one I just had? This is one. I don't know if you can tell it, but here's the flap. And it just kind of makes it something a little bit different. And sometimes I do it the other way so that it comes over the opening and makes the actual flap with the closure on it. I think I have one of those too. Yeah, here's one like this. So that's a little different, something a little different. I kind of like that. And I make that using the envelope board. I'll find one that needs it. I think I've already punched them all. No, I think I'm not. So all I do is, and you're not going to be able to see it really, but I just stick it down in here. And then it makes a little divot. So I really like that. It's fun. Something different. Okay. So let me see. And this is what I usually do. I just do a bunch in a row. If I find something that I think is going to go well on there, then I pull it out and use it. Here's some tulips. They might go pretty there. And a lot of what I put on these is just torn. I don't cut too many things. Unless it's something that's already cut, I usually don't cut it. I just tear it. And sometimes I ink everything. Sometimes I just ink. I just ink the outsides. I like to do this because it uses up a lot of pretty things I have. It makes something that someone can use, whether it's me or someone else. It gives me something different to put inside my journals. I usually put something like this in the middle of every journal I make. And so it doesn't matter if it's too tall, because these are this envelope's pretty tall. This is about 8.5, almost 9 inches. So that's pretty tall for most people's journals. See, there's one. Find another one. This one probably. And it doesn't have to, I don't worry about all the windows being totally viewable like here. I don't care that if that covers part of that window. I like it that way. So now if I were ready to put this on here, I would go ahead and glue it down. But I'm going to put some more things, layer some more things behind it. So I'm just sort of like getting them together now. So when I come to it, I'll know what I want to do with it. I kind of like doing things that way. Okay. Excuse me. I got up this morning with a rough voice. I'll probably go to bed with a rough one too. One of the reasons I tear these is because it's fast. I get tired of things just being square. It takes a long time to fussy cut everything, which I like fussy cutting, but it takes time. And I just want these to go together real quick. And that way they stay fun for me. No, what do you make different, Angie, sorry. I like your bowls, by the way. Those are really cute. Now this, I'm probably going to cut because I have a lot of narrow places on these envelopes that need something. Oh, different size yo-yos? How big are you making them? I hope everybody had a good week. Nobody got really sick or anything like that. I don't know where my husband went. He sounded like somebody needed him for something. I hope it wasn't. He would have told me if it was the kids, but I guess he's gone to help somebody with something. He didn't want to interrupt. Rip it, rip it, rip it. use. Oh, this would be a good one. I've also been using these different kinds of closures, I guess, tabs, and these big eyelets. Don't those look cool? I might use that on the same page. This way I don't have to stop and look for things. I get them all together, and then I can just zoom, zoom, zoom. I'm working on them. Hi, Dana. Nice to see you here. I'm always happy to see everyone come by and visit. Oh, what am I going to do with this one? I like it, but it needs something. I'll have to think what to do with that one. Let's see. I really enjoy working on these. They're a lot of fun. And they're like almost an instantaneous thing because I don't think about them very long, and I just go from one to the other. And when I lay one down, I can see what it needs, or, you know, it's not like I'm staring at it forever, just doing one at a time. That's not fun to me. I like for things to come to life quickly. If I can't find something to go with it, then I'll just set it aside until it comes back up again. And like this one, I think I have to have stuff for the back of it, so it doesn't have enough done to it yet to be finished. Okay, so now I need to find some more focals. Let's see what else I have going on here. Oh, this isn't the box I was looking for. I thought I had. Where's my other box? Which box is it? Too many boxes. Whoa. I almost had a catastrophe there. Oh my goodness. I have a lot of stuff. I think it's this one. I kind of put my farm journals aside for just a little bit. I was getting a little bored, so I'll have to go back to those pretty soon. They're more than halfway done for sure. Hey, quit that. You be nice. Little squabble. No squabbling, no biting. Be nice to each other. We went to dinner last night. I came home and there was papers, chewed up papers all over my bedroom floor. And Cammie was locked in there. She couldn't get out because of the gate. We have a gate. And somehow or other, my laundry room, you go in the laundry room, then you go in the closet, then you go in the bathroom, then you come back and you're in the bedroom. So somehow or other, she had locked herself in there. So I'm guessing that the laundry room door probably wasn't closed all the way. And she went in that way and somehow shut the door behind herself. So she was locked in the bedroom the whole time we were gone. So when I got home, she was in there in the bedroom, and there was all these little pieces of paper all over the floor. And I don't know if any of you remember around Christmas time, I'd showed how to make these wreaths out of little papers, little circles, and you glue the paper on the wreath. There was one laying on the bench that went on the wall and had fallen off, and I hadn't put it back up yet. She had totally chewed it up. Oh my gosh, there was paper everywhere. I couldn't fuss at her because, she'd probably been yowling forever in there, not being able to get out. And I didn't feel like it was her fault so much that I didn't close the door all the way. So I didn't fuss at her. I just cleaned it up. Can't fuss at them if it's not their fault. Nope. I think I've used up a lot of my things I printed out. When I made I had made like 20 journals. I used them on those. Now I'm having to scavenge. Have to scavenge. Find stuff that'll work. So I print out another bunch of stuff. Not like I don't have stuff. I got plenty of stuff. Ooh, what's this? Nope. All right. I have a lot of this tissue. I should use some more of it. Can use that. Thanks, Judy. Sometimes it's just a matter of sticking stuff down. I do enjoy it, though. More than you know. More than I can express. That's so pretty. I'd like it to be on the front. Let's see. Some of these I still got to do the backs. So we'll put that on there. Do y'all use playing cards a lot? I think they're so pretty that I don't use them very much. They just don't inspire me that much to use. I end up buying them and then I can't figure out what to do with them. Unless they're like this, something really pretty. And I have to come up with a brilliant idea for this. Don't know what that'll be. Sometimes brilliant ideas are few and far between. See, that just needs a bag. Well, some things, I don't know what. You never know what you're going to come across in all your junk, all your stuff. I'll use some of this. I really like for things to be inked. I think they look so much prettier. But I just don't want to, it takes so long to ink everything. And on these, I'm just not that worried about doing it. I'll just do it on the edges. Okay, so that can go with this. It's just a process, finding things that go good. Like this. Okay. Then so I actually end up handling each one quite a bit, but I don't mind it, so it's all right. Oh, this needs something. I don't know what yet, but he's mostly done. This is going over here because I don't want to deal with it. And this might be pretty on here. Yeah. And where's that? I used all that green, didn't I? That green will go pretty. So this will go here. This can go down here. Okay. And it's pretty much perfect right there. So. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, what do we got left here? this pile. And see, then I have all these to make little tucks with, or bookmarks or whatever. And I've got little pieces cut off the ends that I can use to make little short pockets. And then I have smaller ones that can be pockets. I got lots going on. That's a good excuse, Angie. I know that's not the right answer, but it sounds good. Okay, so let's take some of these. I don't know what the dog has, but it doesn't sound like it's something she should have. Cammy? Cammy, what are you doing? Cammy? Come here. What are you doing? It doesn't sound good. I don't want you to have to get in trouble. So I'm just trying to help you out. What else have we got? Oh, somebody's got to get this train. Who's going to get this train? I think maybe this person. Or this person. This envelope's going to get the train. You know, used to, when I made a lot of dolls, I had orders from this particular store up in St. Louis, and they bought a lot of my dolls, soft sculpture stuff. And I made these kitchen witches, just as ugly as they could be, and they sold like crazy, you know. So I always had a lot of those going on, and they'd be all sitting on the back of my couch, not dressed, just their heads would be done, their hair would be done, and had these long skinny legs and long skinny arms, and they just all be sitting up on the back of the couch. Excuse me. And I'd just be talking to them, you know. I'd take one down, work on its dress or something. I'd say, now you guys just wait a while, it'll be your turn, you know. It's a wonder people didn't think I was nuts. They never talked back. Now I will say that. Let's see what else I got here. See, I can almost use every piece. Sometimes, not always. Sometimes. Put that one there. I think. Maybe he needs to go here. It is fun. I like to do it this way. Just lay things out, and you can work on several at the same time. Then you go back and put them together, and it's there. Voila, you've got something. And this is cute paper. do my clusters this way too. I just, lay a bunch of stuff out and start putting things where they look like they are supposed to go. Ow. It's a good way to use up scraps. Yeah, I use jelly plate roll-offs too sometimes. The last bunch I made, I used jelly plate roll-offs. All right, let me glue some of these. Where's my glue book? And I need a glue stick, glue stick. What time is it? About 15 more minutes. I'm just going to keep working on these because they're fun. Add that one down there. And I usually just glue it down and whatever's left over, trim it off. Or fold it over. Okay. I could do this all day. I really could. I usually have to stop and make myself get up and walk around and what have you. Because before you know it, I've just zoned out. Just been sitting here for hours. It's really a good way for me to relax. I enjoy it. Don't have to think too much, It's pretty easy. Anytime you don't have to think too much, that's a good time. Doesn't sound like I'm going to have to be fixing any supper either. He said he's going to be gone until probably late. So I could stay down here for a while and play. Okay, you guys, you little dogs, you stink. Go away. You stink. Stinky dog. You smell sweaty. You smell sweaty. Schnauzers, some of them, when they run and play, they get sweaty and they smell like a locker room. Oh my gosh, they stink so bad. And after, when they first come in, and then after 30 minutes or an hour, it's gone. You don't smell it at all. So I know it's sweat. At least that's what I think. But whoo boy, they can smell. Well, Malia, that's when you make envelopes. You take some of the scraps and make envelopes, and then there you go. You got envelopes to put all the other scraps on. Mhm. I don't usually cover up every single space that's on here with papers or whatever. I like to leave a little bit of white space in there. Sometimes I just stamp uh, text or script over it real lightly in the blank spaces, or use a little stamp, number stamp, or something like that to fill in the space. So it's not just so much color that you can't, it gets to be too much. At least that's what I try to do. Now, see, if I were stopping to ink every one of these papers, it would take forever. I love the way it looks, but it just takes too long for what it is to my mind. Choo choo. I know, Melia. Every time I do this kind of stuff, I do it to get rid of some of the scraps, but then I still have a lot. I don't normally throw them away though, unless it's something just ridiculous. Because, you can use everything just about. And sometimes that scrap is exactly what your project needs to make it look the way you want it to look. Okay, so I've gotten through some of that. Let's see. And I also used to put all these on using my uh, art glitter glue. I don't do that anymore because it seems to stay on just fine with glue stick. Whoops. Sometimes it stays on me. It seems to stay on just fine with glue stick, and it's a lot cheaper, and I can do more stuff. The cheaper you can do, the more you can do. Your pin cushions? I thought they were cute. Um, I have a few ideas for you though. If you put elastic on them, that little thin elastic, attach it one end to each side of your pin cushion, then you can put it on your wrist. Or you can do that, and then also take a small circle of cardboard or whatever, cover that with fabric, and glue that on the back of it. And when you have it on your wrist, the pins won't stick through. I thought they were really cute though. That's just a couple ideas. I was very impressed with your fabric bowls. They're very nice. Okay. See, I have to do stuff on the back of these too. All in good time, all in good time. But when I do it like this, where I'm just like going down the line and adding pieces and then stacking them up and then going down the line again, I really feel like I'm getting more done and it doesn't seem as uh, long and involved. So I get to enjoy it more. So that's another reason I like to do it in this way, in this order. Reading up here. You keep saying that, Anne, that you're not renewing. I believe you. I believe you. I quit getting any magazines a long time ago. I was magazine crazy. I love glossy magazines. I really do. I'm a sucker for those beautiful pictures. Oops, I forgot that. I had this here. Or did I put it here? I think I like it at the top. I tell you what, Ann Lair. Well, that's not how you say your name, is it, Ann? It's Lar. Is that correct? Lar? Ann Lar? In my mind, I always say it Lair, but I think that's wrong. Anyway, Anne just blows my mind sometimes with the things she comes up in her journals. If you haven't already looked at her Alice journal video, please watch it. It is so amazing. I really, really was impressed with it. And every journal I've seen that she's made, I've been very impressed with. She's very creative. I don't know who Bert Lahr is either, but Lahr is the correct way to say it. I'm pretty sure of that. And I'm on my 75th day. I just finished my 75th day of Spanish lessons. Who'd have thought I'd make it this far? My husband's been over 100 days. Oh, yeah. Huh. I forgot that was his name. I'm kind of lucky if I know what my name is some days. And that's the truth. About Thursday, maybe, I was looking at my calendar trying to remember what time my chiropractor appointment is on Monday. I looked at my calendar and I didn't have anything scheduled for Monday. So I thought, well, did I not write it down or what's the deal? So I got to looking and it said that this past Monday I had a scheduled appointment and I thought, did I go? I couldn't even remember. I couldn't remember if I'd gone to that appointment 3 days earlier. So I thought about it and thought about it, and I thought, well, now, did I miss the appointment? What have I done? So I sent him a message and I said, hey, did I miss my appointment on Monday? And she sent me one back. She says, no, dear, we were closed on Monday for Memorial Day. So what I'd done is I had written um, this coming Monday's appointment in last Monday's slot. I was so confused. I thought, how crazy am I? I don't even know what I did 4 days ago. That's scary. Thanks, Janet, for putting that in there. It's exactly what I needed to ask somebody to do. Janet's always on the ball. And it's a good thing that somebody is. So we've got about 3 minutes left or so. Let's see, what was I doing? I want to thank you all for coming by. Janet, thanks for moderating. I know, Anne, isn't it awful? What's the matter with us? You know what? I think we get our minds in our craft stuff and everything else just goes out the window. I can remember what I do here and who I watched and what time somebody's supposed to come on. I can't remember my own appointments. Oh, my word. My husband just shakes his head and walks away. He's like, I don't want to be part of this. Oh, goodness. So let's see, where did I put the boxes? So here's a box that I started working on, a metal box. And it's not finished, it has to be finished, and I'll have some items put on here and different things. Now you could even, if you didn't want to heat it, you couldn't heat it very much, but you could actually like put book print on here, glue it on, and put the embossing powder over that, and then you would have book page on there. You could put anything you wanted, but this is just paint and embossing powder, heated up and bubbled and textured and what have you. So that's one way to do it. And like I said, this is not finished by any means. So you could do that on any kind of box. We did that. And then where'd the other boxes go? In there. Then I made some paper boxes. Showed you how to fold those. They make nice little gifts and they're easy to decorate. And then we worked on, then I showed you my butterfly on the book. And then we worked on these envelopes, or I worked on these envelopes, and you just kind of politely watched me. Oh, but I really do appreciate when you come by and visit with me. And I hope you take something away from what I'm doing. I know it's not rocket science or anything, but it's fun stuff. So get your papers out and get your envelopes out and get your boxes out and your paint and your heat gun and have a blast. And once again, thanks for coming. I hope you come back again. Sunday's a nice day to be on and watch all day long from early till late. So I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.